Welcome friends to another video, welcome to a new list, but this time around something a bit different, mainly because in today's video I'm going to talk about the most disgusting, repulsive, horrible fragrances that you can purchase or you can smell in your entire life. According to others, let's get this one straight from the beginning of this video, according to others, especially according to, let's say, beginners, to less experienced people with fragrances, and especially according to people who have no idea of what quality means in fragrances. But nonetheless, I do have a fragrance that my personal pick for the most repulsive fragrance known to me, or at least one of the most repulsive fragrances, and it's this one. Oh yeah, oh yeah, Manchera Oud Lemon Mint. God damn it, I hate this fragrance with a passion. It's so bad. It's so disgusting for me. It's so horrible. It's so synthetic. It's so sweet. It's so bad. I simply cannot stand it. I simply cannot tolerate this fragrance. And just seeing the bottle gives me the creeps, actually. The only good thing about this fragrance is the fact that it's a monster type of fragrance. It's a abysmal fragrance when it comes to performance, but I cannot appreciate it, mainly because this is a fragrance that I immediately want to scrub off my skin. It's so bad. It's the worst fragrance that I ever sniffed, bought, owned, used from the house of Manchera or from the house of Montal. I simply don't get it why people hype this fragrance in the online. I see people a lot of time saying that this is a very good summer freshie, this is a very good summer fragrance, this is a very good warm weather, sexy fragrance. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It might be if you refer to somewhere in Antarctica or in Siberia, or maybe on Pluto for that matter, because this is the only way I could see this fragrance actually working. The composition inside is of a very, very poor quality. I do not have a knockoff, if you're wondering, guys. I do have, and it doesn't matter to me actually, the variant with the magnetic cap. If it makes any sense to you and if it matters to you, I don't really give a shit about reformulations, because I purchase, I use, and review fragrances that are available at that point on the market. I don't care about reformulations. Apparently, the producers of these fragrances don't care about you also, because that's why they reformulate and water down the compositions, while of course maintaining the price. This for me is my personal pick in this list, and this is personally, sorry, one of the most disgusting, repulsive, horrible fragrances that I ever bought and used. Manchera Oud Lemon Mint. For those of you who are hyping it and whatever, wash your heads with this one. That's how good it is. Now let's get to the other 9 fragrances in the list, which are, of course, by the experts, by the influencers, the reviewers, of course, why not? And mostly by brainless morons on Comedy Central Fragrantica in the comments section, trashed and badly talked about. Let's start with the house of Amouage. Here comes Fate Man. Ooh, this is so repulsive. This is so horrible. This is so disgusting. I cannot tolerate this. It's too much. It's so bad. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's one of the most interesting fragrances from the house of Amouage. Quite unique. And if you love spicy fragrances, if you love oriental fragrances, you need to have Fate Man in your collection. One of the main accords in this fragrance, the disgusting one, is the note of cumin. And there's a lot of it inside, especially in the beginning, and you're gonna get it for the first 3 hours, or at least that is what's happening on my skin. But there's a lot more to this fragrance. You also have incense, you also have immortelle, you also have boozy accords, you also have woody accords. So it's a very complex fragrance. You just need to get past the cumin note, which, to be honest, is one amazing note inside Fate Man, and is the note that gives the personality of this fragrance. According to the millennials, who are experts in everything, although they know nothing about anything, This is a very, very disgusting fragrance. It's very intrusive and it's very abusive to their sensitive noses. Therefore, it has a place on this list. But wait, there's more. Oh, there's a lot more. Still, from the house of Amouage, meets Man. Meet the Dark Lord, if you want. This is such an impressive creation. I simply adore this fragrance. It's so dark, so mysterious, so elegant, so mature, and very unique at the same time. That combination between chrysanthemum and ash, combined also with incense, combined with sandalwood, it's simply amazing. It's something to die for. I've seen a lot of experts saying that this one smells like an ashtray. Why would I want to smell like an ashtray? Yeah, as a smoker for more than 20 years throughout my life, I can honestly tell you that I really know how an ashtray smells. And trust me, it doesn't smell like Amouage meats. This is a very beautiful floral composition from the house of Amouage. The chrysanthemum is the main ingredient combined with the ash, and it's simply gorgeous. Gorgeous is something that you really need to have in your collection if you love this type of, let's say, somewhat dark, mysterious, sensual, at the same time, fragrances. Meatsman. But wait, here comes the Big Daddy. And this is actually the fragrance that dominates this list. This is the fragrance that, for me personally, gathered the most hilarious, um, let's say, words and reactions coming from people who interacted with this bad boy. Figment Man, my favorite fragrance in my entire collection. And I do have quite a few fragrances in my collection, and about 99% of my collection is made out of really good fragrances, which I really appreciate and love, which were handpicked to be part of my collection. And still, Amouage Figment Man is my favorite one because this is a very personal thing. It's a fragrance that speaks to me, if you want. It's very artistic, just like Amouage meats, but even more. It's very artistic. I simply love it because of the earthy tones, the animalic tones, the woody accords, the soil tincture that you find inside. And it's simply gorgeous to me and to my senses. And I love it. I love it. But every single time that I gave people this fragrance to sniff it, they were immediately put off by the scent. This is truly amazing. This for me serves as a, let's say, social experiment type of fragrance together with another fragrance that I'm going to show you in the coming minutes. And it allows me to see what reactions people have to this type of creations, artistic creations. This to me speaks of nature, real nature. Like I mean, a fall after a summer rain, a very, very strong rain or storm, if you want. And I'm in the forest, walking on the leaves, on the branches, in the mud. This is how Figment Man smells to me, and I simply adore it. But it's very off-putting, it's very offensive, it's very abrasive, it's very disgusting, it's very horrible again to many, many, many other people. And I simply enjoy it. And sometimes, although this is a fragrance for my own personal pleasure, sometimes I actually intentionally wear it in spite of those people because I know they cannot stand it. When it comes to performance, this is a nuclear beast. Longevity, sillage, and projection are nuclear on my skin. Without a hiccup, I get at least 24 hours of longevity with one spray. This is a fragrance that I do not dare to apply more than one spray on my skin or on my clothes. And sometimes, even one spray is too much. Figment Man, the big daddy of all. Let's go to the next one. And the next one comes from the house of Alexandre.J, and it's called Argentik. I've seen a lot of people, especially on that comedy site called Fragrantica, calling this fragrance as being a box spray. Yeah, what can I say? First of all, buy the fragrance. Second of all, wear it. And afterwards, let's have a chat. This does not smell like bug spray. This smells very, very good. It's actually an incredible woody aromatic fragrance. The composition is quite simplistic. You have nutmeg, you have cedar atlas, you have some citruses inside, bergamot and whatnot. So not very complex and not very overwhelming in terms of the notes, but the interpretation of the fragrance is quite unique. And it comes out unique, very strong, very peculiar, very strange, and to sensitive noses, of course, as a horrible fragrance that smells like bug spray. This is a perfect fragrance for springtime and fall, but also for wintertime, for example, and it smells simply amazing. I highly recommend you to try it out. This is from the Collector collection from Alexandre.J. I strongly suggest the whole collection and also the other lines from this house. Amazing fragrance, Argentik from the house of Alexandre.J. Let's go to Paolo Terenzi and Quintto Canto, because Paolo Terenzi knows how to make a real good fragrance, and this is a very, very perfect example of an artistic interpretation. Goes somewhat in the same direction with Figment Man, meaning that this is also a very earthy type of fragrance, but you have some very interesting notes inside the composition. You have hot iron, for example. You have woody accords, you have spices, and you also have milk, for example. And the result is simply outstanding. I simply love this fragrance. This is a cooler, cold weather type of fragrance, so it's very good for spring, fall, and winter time. But as always, I have only one principle when it comes to fragrances, and that one is wear what you want, when you want, however you want, because that's the most important thing. For you to be happy while wearing the fragrance that you like. What people have to say around you is not important. Be cautious and apply the normal amount of fragrance. That's the only, let's say, advice. But Ire from Quinto Canto, it's an amazing creation. I simply love it. Again, it takes me to nature. It takes me to, let's say, to the fields this time around, not to the forest like Figment Man, but to the fields. And I simply adore it. Very good performance, very good longevity, projection, and sillage. And I highly recommend that you try Quinto Canto and also the other line, Giardino Benessere, which belonged to Paolo Terenzi, who, as you may know, is the nose behind Tiziana Terenzi, which is the main line of Cereria Terenzi. Let's go to the next one, and this one is a very skanky type of fragrance, but man, do I love this one. And coming from a house that you are not expecting to create this type of fragrances, and the house is called Atelier Cologne, and this is gold leather. Basically, the name says it all. You get leather, and you get a lot of wood, but you get the skanky type. You get the animalic type, because this is a very animalic type of fragrance. The interpretation of agarwood is barnyardy if you want, but the leather is also made in a animalic type. This smells unique, smells great, and the performance is simply amazing. And the reactions that I got wearing this one from people were simply gorgeous. I mean, you should have seen people finding this fragrance so offensive, so disgusting, mainly because they're not accustomed with quality ingredients, with natural ingredients, which Atelier Cologne is known for, but mostly when they make, let's say, citrusy fragrances. But yeah, you gotta love it when people roll their eyeballs like crazy for smelling something so high quality, so well made, and out of which you only need to apply 2 sprays and you're good for the rest of the day. Because this is what gold leather from Atelier Cologne does. I highly recommend this fragrance for those of you who really want to smell nasty, disgusting, and horrible and whatnot, according to, of course, specialists, influencers, reviewers, bloggers, and whoever you want. That's why the next fragrance, it's a dedication to all of them. Cry. Cry, baby, cry. Sécrétion magnifique from the house of Étal Libre d'Orange. Oh yeah, baby. This is the one that makes everybody cry. This is the one that's considered by the so-called experts the most obnoxious, the most repulsive, the most disgusting creation in the world of perfumery. It actually isn't. If you want to have a serious talk, this is actually one of the most beautiful artistic interpretations in the history of fragrance. Period. If you consider this one to be the most disgusting fragrance, then what can I say? If this is offensive to you, what can I say? Ah, I can say that you're gonna definitely love this one. You are the one that loves this one because this is very, very contemporary. This is very sweet. This is very synthetic. This is beast mode. Attracts a lot of compliments from dead flies, perhaps. And it cannot compare with this atrocious creation called Sécrétion Magnifique, which is a high quality fragrance with a high level of artistry implied in the composition. Blood accord, saliva, what else? Semen or sperm, adrenaline accord, iris, sandalwood, and so many other ingredients in Sécrétion Magnifique. This is basically sex in a bottle. This is basically sexuality and erotism, if you want, in a bottle. This is how Sécrétion Magnifique smells. Also, this is a fragrance that has an amazing power when it comes to longevity, projection, and sillage. It even beats all the others featured in this list, and by far, it beats this one when it comes to longevity and sillage, especially. This is Sécrétion Magnifique. Yes, it's disgusting because it's animalic, because it smells like sex. It smells like you are having sex. And nowadays people probably have forgotten how to have sex, and that's why they find this fragrance obnoxious and disgusting and whatever. No, this is a very beautiful artistic interpretation. This is a very long-lasting fragrance. This isn't a fragrance for everyone, for sensitive noses, for example, for people who forgot how making children is done, for example, or who forgot what sexuality actually is and means, because nowadays people have different genders, whatever. This is for mature noses. This is for people who have experience with fragrances. This is for people who have know-how about fragrances. And I've seen a lot of idiots, especially some idiots, surprisingly, from so-called niche houses, who have some very disgusting opinions about this fragrance, but they forgot to mention their own creations. Probably envy is talking instead of ration. Wear it, but really wear it, not just unbox the fragrance from the box when it comes to you. Do this, start the camera, and let's make another review where we talk and we say the truth to the audience and we give our real reviews and real impressions. But we only used one spray from the bottle, of course, or we only wore the fragrance once, and afterwards we need, of course, to make a review and to talk shit about something that's really great from an artistic point of view. This is how niche perfumery should actually be. Provocative. Remember this. If you don't like provocative things, if you don't like things of high quality, if you don't like things that make you think about the creation, about the message that it's trying to give to you, to the composition, then just do designer reviews. Because that's where the masterpieces are actually all the time. Yeah. Sécrétion magnifique. Let's go to the next one. Again, in the same direction as the others previously. This is a very artistic interpretation and comes from the house of Nasomato, and it's called Blamash. This is a true power house. It's very artistic, it's very powerful, and it manages to evolve throughout its life on skin a lot. It's very complex. It's plasticky, it's fruity, it's woody, it's musky, and also it's, let's say, powdery, because you have a huge overdose of iris root inside this one. You also get birch, you also get apricot, or at least to my nose, I get apricot. Some people say it's peach, but to me it's apricot. You get musk, and you also get some plastic type of notes, burnt plastic actually, and it simply smells amazing. But every single time that a different guy or a person senses this fragrance, I can already see their eyeballs rolling in their head like they just hit the jackpot at the casino. Yeah, Blamash from the house of Nasomato, Alexandre.J's incredible creation. To my humble opinion, the most artistic creation in the whole house of Nasomato. And the last one in this list comes from the house of Min New York. And it's one of my top violet fragrances, and it's called Shaman, and it's simply gorgeous. Violet combined with labdanum, combined with musk, with a very animalic musk this time around. And the violet comes out as a animalic violet. For the first couple of hours, this is a dark, sober, mysterious type of fragrance in the veins of Man, for example. But after a couple of hours, 3 to 4 hours, you get hit by the classic violet note, which is very, let's say, uplifting, very clean, very powdery, and also aquatic. Due to its animalic nature, this isn't a fragrance that's appealing to everyone, and of course, it's disgusting, it's repulsive, and it's absolutely horrible. So is the performance, because this is a monster performer on my skin and on textile. Therefore, these are my top 10, if you want, the most repulsive, horrible, disgusting fragrances that you can buy, own, use, sniff throughout your entire life. Kudos to everybody out there who's doing a great job. Kudos to everybody out there commenting on Fragrantica. Kudos to everybody out there who's making videos and reviews after wearing the fragrance one time. And especially to those who make reviews after they just unboxed the fragrance.